Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take the top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down into bite-sized pieces. Today, we're going to be talking about smart money and why it does not really matter what is happening into the market and why these three people don't pay attention to it and why you shouldn't either. So first up, whales hit crypto market with gigantic sell-offs and Bitcoin drops 10 billion overnight. I believe in the last 3 days or so, it has dropped over 37 billion. And as of today, January 20th, 2020, Bitcoin had its fifth largest drop, where it went from $10,200 all the way down to $9,400 in about 1 to 2 hours, which was pretty amazing. Also, despite crypto winter, new Bitcoin mines continue to open. How surprising is that? And these are the two stories we're going to go over, which talks about what smart money does in the background and why it doesn't matter what happens in a very narrow time frame and why it shouldn't matter to you or to these three people. And Ripple finally is battling XRP scams, launches an initiative to combat cryptocurrency theft, fake giveaways, and financial crimes, and why it's great that we're finally getting some help to actually take care of all these scammers so people don't get screwed out of their money in 2020. And finally, we'll go over the scam of the day. So first up, I want to say thanks to everybody out there who has participated and helped. We've wiped out a ton of them. And now with Ripple getting into the fray, I think we're going to do even more damage. So we'll go over this at the very last, but let's get into today's stories. First up, Bitcoin drops 10 billion overnight thanks to a couple of whales. So whales have been on the move. When their buying demand grows and prices rise. When they dump, they saturate the market and prices plummet. Very easy, and this has been happening again and again and again over the last years or so. Confirmation from sources that monitor whale movement shows a number are dumping. So if you want to pay attention to these Twitter accounts, there's one called @WhaleAlert, and this one alerts us to that 1,000 Bitcoin were transferred from an unknown wallet to Binance. The next one talks about how it goes to an unknown wallet, and the third one how it goes to another exchange, OKX. So very easily, what's happening here is that when a whale moves this much Bitcoin, 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 different Bitcoin, and it's going into an exchange, it's not going in there because it has nothing else to do. The reason that they're going in there is so they can dump Bitcoin onto the market, sell like crazy, and manipulate the whole market. This has been going on for a number of years, since I've been into 2017 and later. This is nothing new, and why it really doesn't matter, even though it's super frustrating. Moving on. Investors are unconvinced Bitcoin will climb above recent resistances and are selling. This is surprising since the drop comes despite Bitcoin confirming a golden cross earlier in the week, which was super bullish and a trigger that could be followed by gains of up to 190%. So, if you are a TA person, a day trader, my channel really doesn't talk about that much because I do not do that. I'm more of a dollar cost average type of a safe type of investor. So for all those TA people out there, I have two questions for you. Did you see this coming and did you profit from it? So leave that in the description below. I am dying to know how you did it or if you were able to do it, because to me, when whales move, I don't understand how TA can find these types of trends and look it out, because what I've seen so far is that a lot of people have been liquidated and have lost a ton of money. There's a statistic going around that I think it's 75 to 90% of day traders lose money, so I'm always interested to see how the other half lives. Now remember, all this manipulation that's going on right now in this short amount of time frame does not matter in the long run, and we're in the next story. I'm going to explain exactly why that is. Despite crypto winter, new Bitcoin mines continue to open. The latest new Bitcoin mine comes with the backing of one of the biggest names in tech investing, which is Peter Thiel, the PayPal co-founder and early Facebook investor. So Peter Thiel, if you don't understand who he is a multi-billionaire. He got into these small companies like PayPal and Facebook. Did a pretty good job. But it's not just him. There's other people like Tim Draper. Tim Draper, also a venture capitalist. He is an angel investor, and he's invested into small types of industries such as Skype, Hotmail, Tesla, SpaceX, SolarCity, and on and on and on. So this guy kind of knows what he's doing. The most interesting about Tim is that he was the one that in 2014 predicted that Bitcoin would go to 10,000 or more. And at that point, everybody laughed at him, thought he was crazy, and he actually was crazy because it went to 20,000, not 10. On top of him, we've also got Jack Dorsey. Now, Jack Dorsey, if you're not aware, is the CEO of Twitter, and he's also the CEO of Square, which is a mobile payments company. These three people, and many more behind them or beyond them, are also investing into the cryptocurrency digital asset space. So what does this mean? This means we have to look at the people who are dumping a ton of money, a ton of time, and a ton of effort into this space. There's a reason why they are billionaires and we are not. It's because they know exactly where the hockey puck is going to go, not where it is right now. So if we can take solace in that, I think it's going to be okay. So today, Bitcoin dropped, the total market dropped, but it's okay because in the long run, everything should work itself out as all these types of markets begin to rise because we look at what smart money is doing. Moving on. So Peter Thiel invested into what was called Layer 1. And Layer 1 is an enormous gigawatt Bitcoin mining facility located right here in Texas, my home state. And they announced today that they opened its first Bitcoin mining facility, which covers over 30 acres and costs tens of millions of dollars. Unbelievable. Investments in crypto have remained broadly depressed, this article goes on to state, through a prolonged and chilly crypto winter. But Bitcoin mining remains an apparent bright spot. And this is why this article was so interesting to me. Because I thought to myself, why are these enormous smart money people, billionaires, venture capitalists, investing into Bitcoin mining? It's not because they have nothing else to do and they thought it'd be a nice experiment. They've all got together with their advisors, and they've all made some pretty calculated risk assessments and go, this is probably going to be not only big, but enormous. We should get on it right now. So companies including Hut 8, Bitmain, and Bitfarms all built or expanded Bitcoin mining facilities in 2019. So think about that. In 2018 and 2019, when the market was tanking, going down the tubes, what did these huge conglomerates do? They dumped even more money into it. So if we look at what's going on behind the scenes, we can take solace in the fact this market should go up. So Bitcoin's network's hash rate, or the total computing power of all participating miners worldwide, has more than doubled over the past year. Why over the past year? Because in May 2020, we're going to go through what's called a Bitcoin halving, which we're going to go into a little bit. And what's going to happen is that the rewards for each of these miners is going to drop from 12.5 to 6.25. Essentially, the same amount of electricity costs, computing costs, time, and effort, all that's going to stay the same, but the reward is going to go down. It's like if you were a janitor and they said, hey Pete, you're doing a great job today. Tomorrow I want you to do the exact same thing, but we're only going to pay you half. Would you do it? Would you stick around? Probably not. But these miners, they have a trick up their sleeve, and I'm going to talk about that right now. Moving on. Layer 1's new facility is in an unlikely location, about 100 miles west of Midland, Texas. Now, if you're not familiar with Midland, Texas, it's a big oil town, and it's got an abundant amount of energy and oil. Electricity is one of the biggest costs in Bitcoin mining, and according to Layer 1 CEO Alexander Legal, the cheapest electricity in the world at scale is in West Texas right now. I thought that's amazing. I never even heard about that. And I actually live in this state. Electricity is cheap and plentiful in the region thanks to a mix of market deregulation, a glut of natural gas produced through fracking, and the simultaneous infusion of large renewable energy investments and subsidies from the state government. Legal says that the Layer 1 facility's power is heavily skewed towards wind sources with some natural gas components. So if we're looking at renewable resources, that's one of the biggest knocks on Bitcoin. How much electrical power is it going to take to push this into 2025, 2030, and beyond? Well, it's an enormous amount, and actually Bitcoin mining is I think the 17th or 18th largest electrical computing source in the entire world. I think it's even bigger than most countries out there. Not that I think, I know exactly what it is. I think it's like 17th or 18th, which is amazing. So what they can do here in West Texas, they can use renewable resources, they can cut their costs, and they can be profitable as miners. I think that works out pretty well. Moving on. And this was my biggest concern, because when I heard it was in West Texas, I'm like, how are they going to do that? When you do Bitcoin mining, the problem with these mainframes, these computers, these cards, these ASIC miners, is they get incredibly hot. So what's happening is that all the miners that are in China, they are in these cold weather regions to keep the heat at a minimum and reduce their electrical costs. So why would they do that in West Texas when it's hot as hell over here? So Layer 1 has a trick up its sleeve to deal with the heat. Layer 1's equipment, which has the company designs itself, mines Bitcoin while immersed in an oil-based coolant. So essentially they are taking these mining rigs, these computers, and they are putting in some type of oil-based coolant. I'm sure it is something that is only proprietary for them. And they're cooling everything down to reduce the electrical costs, thereby making themselves more profitable. Genius. That substantially insulates the equipment from the outside temperature, prolongs its life, and even allows overclocking or running the hardware at higher power settings. But building a mining facility now comes another X factor. In just under 3 months, actually it's less than, I think we're looking at 92 days, Bitcoin will experience what's known as a halving. And again, that's what we talked about just a couple minutes ago. So Bitcoin's structure should force older and more electricity-thirsty mining machines off the network as rewards decline, leaving a greater share for the miners that remain. So here's the problem. If you are a small mining company, you're not Peter Thiel, you're not a billionaire, and you are mining Bitcoin, how can you compete with all these large conglomerates, these large corporations that are getting into the mining game, and they're actually just crushing everything because they can afford to just pick up and move and do whatever they want to. So what they're thinking is, it's going to shut down these small mining farms. These corporations, they know that if they can just ride out the storm, if they can just work themselves to June, July, August, September 2020 and just kind of ride this out as the reward for mining Bitcoin decreases, in the long run, they will be not only profitable, but extremely maximum profitable. And there's also speculation that the halving, which will force or reduce the amount of new Bitcoin, could push up the price of each one in dollars. So again, not to beat a dead horse, but when we look at the market, small time frame, if we are blinded or how we have our horse blinders in, there is a problem with looking at the market just in this small segment. Look at the big picture, everything will work itself out. Take a look at what smart money sees and everything will be okay. Moving on. Next up, Ripple battles XRP scams, and I'm not going to go over this entire article because it's long and tedious, but I'll break it down to the most basic parts. So there is an unusual activity report form on Ripple. I'm going to link that in the description below. All you got to do is click on that. You're going to click on I agree. And underneath that is going to be a form. You're going to put your full legal name, address, country of residence, all your information. So if you've gotten scammed out of money, this is pretty great. Ripple only, or XRP only. You can come here and you can report. You can place your ledger address in this first box and then the address of where you sent your XRP to. I have no idea what they're going to do with this other than collect this type of information, but I can tell you one thing, that there is a website on the FBI site itself which is there to report these types of scams. So if Ripple can also collect all this data, send this over to the proper authorities, maybe in some way, shape, or form, either they can notify who they're supposed to notify, or in some way, shape, or form, get your type of money back because it talks about transaction details and how much you've actually lost. Now, this is one way to do it. The second way is to help us out in the scam of the day. First of all, if you're new to the channel, have never done a scam of the day, welcome. What we try to do is, I got sick of people getting screwed out of their money. So what I did was I created the scam of the day. And we started this back all the way in January 14th. You can see all the different scams that we've wiped out. I did a quick poll, and I found out over 800 people responded, and 20% of those people said that they had been screwed out of money. And some people have been scammed out of a lot of money. So what we try to do is make this space a little bit more hospitable for the people that are coming in for this year and beyond. Easiest way to do it is in the description below. I put a link, and that link is right next to the words that say scam of the day. And once you click on that link, it's going to take you this handy dandy Google spreadsheet, and there's only 4 at the very bottom that you can see that are still open. All the rest of these, 50 plus or however many we've taken care of so far, are already gone. So thanks to everybody who's helped me out. So before we get into it, if you are susceptible to scams, let me just tell you the easiest way not to get scammed. Treat everything as a scam until proven otherwise. That's the simplest way to do it. So if you think that Ripple is in some way, shape, or form giving away free money, they're not. All you got to do is contact their official website and say, hey, Ripple, are you giving away free XRP? No. Hey, Binance, are you doing an airdrop for 1,000 Bitcoin? No. Hey, Ledger, are you giving away free nanos? No. So if you ever think that in some way, shape, or form you're going to get free money, first of all, you're not special. No one's giving you free money, so get that through your head and you'll be okay. I know it seems a little bit harsh, but it's going to save you in the long run, trust me. So treat everything as a scam until proven otherwise. So that's going to help you, but let's help people who may not have seen this video. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this link. We're going to go to the actual scam itself. And how do we know this is a scam? So first of all, we take a look at the comment section, and there's scam all over the place. So that's something to be considerate of. But it still doesn't mean anything. Maybe people are just mean. They just like to say scam. What we're looking for is what's called an asymmetrical giveaway. Remember, no one's giving you free money. You're not special. So it says here, to verify your address, just send from 1,000 to 1,000,000 XRP to the address, and you'll get 10,000 to 10 million back. Seems ridiculous, right? You're just saying to yourself, that seems ridiculous. But it's not. People get scammed all the time. And for those of you who are like, that seems legitimate, thanks for thanks for finding this video so you didn't get scammed out of your money. So how we can take care of this? Well, first of all, we're going to downvote it. Next of all, we're going to click on these three dots. It's going to go to the report. Underneath the report, it's going to say spam or misleading. We're going to choose one, scam, and then click on this applies to links. Click next, and all you have to do is say this is a scam and report, and you're done. So real quick, if you're on a desktop or a Mac or a PC, there's going to be 3 steps where you did what we just did right there. If you're on your mobile phone, once you click on the report button, it'll just say, is this a scam? You say yes, and then you're done. So that's it. So if you could help me out, that's great. Now, if I do this, I'm just some crazy person who is reporting scams. But if you do it, now we're 2 people. And if the thousands of people that watch this video report all of these types of scams, then it allows YouTube to be aware. They will take it down, and people don't get screwed out of their money. So that is it for today. I want to say thanks for listening throughout the whole rants that I have. If you like these types of videos, there's going to be 2 more that's going to pop up on your left and right. Don't know exactly what they are because they are curated for your viewing pleasure by YouTube. And that is it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.